Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole, so very, very happy to be with you today. I have a check-in question. How are you? If you're going to answer that question honestly, what would you say? How are you doing right now? How are you feeling? How are you feeling inside of your body, inside of your spirit? If you really ask yourself that question, what would you say? We often respond to the question, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm good, without thinking. Our response to that question, it's almost like the question it's very surface, very superficial. But if you really ask that question, how are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? What would you say? If you tell the truth to yourself, what would you say? And then I want to go even deeper and say, if you could have anything you want, anything, if you could have anything you want in this life, what would you say that would be right now? You get one wish, you get to rub on the genie and say, well, this one thing I really want is, what is it? When random people are asked that question, somebody will say, oh, I want $1 million. I want to win the lotto. I want something external, often something huge, but something external. How would you answer that question? What do you want? If you could have anything at all, what would it be? It's not an easy question. We often answer it with these huge things that are things that we think will lead to happiness. That's why money is often at the top of folks' lists. Well, if I only had this much money, then my life would be better. If I only had this partner, if I only had this job, if I only had this house, if I only had, then happiness will be on the other side. But it's something that's a stretch, something that's out there, something that's not here, generally speaking. So if you ask yourself that question, what do I want? If I could have anything at all right now, what would it be? And so I've been having that question. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. And the answer that keeps coming for me is peace. That if I could have anything at all, it would be peace. That sense of quietude where everything is okay on the inside, where whatever is going on the inside and in my surroundings, there's a gentleness, there's an evenness, there's a sweetness, and there's not friction. There's peace, there's tranquility, there's a sense of everything is fine from the inside out. That's what I want. That's what I strive for. And so I titled today's contemplation, Find Peace, because I think it can be quite elusive. I think that much like $1 million or $10 million or winning the lottery, however many millions of dollars that might be on a particular day, peace is not something you can buy. So the value of it is even bigger than whatever that pot of gold is with the lotto, because you cannot buy it. It can be it can feel external, it can feel like it's something out there, it can feel like that. But based upon all of the research that I've done, it's something that you find within your own being, that peace is generated from within. Now, if you are a person of faith, and I am, I also think that it is your connection to the divine. So it's these two things together. It's your inner ref- that self-reflection. What's going on within me? What can I do within myself to create peace? What can I clean out? What can I, discard? What should I nurture? All of those things that require work. That to get to peace, to find peace, means you may have to do some excavating. What doesn't belong in your inner world and in your external world? But what we often do is to believe we can find peace if we don't have this, we don't have that, these external things that have been bothering us. If those are gone, then everything will be better. I remember my mother used to tell us when we were growing up, and if there was something bothering us, and it was, especially if it was in relationship to other people, you better work it out, because all you're doing, if you move on to this person or this situation, is you're trading one set of problems for another. Because whatever your issues are, they travel with you. I have a client now, someone who is a wonderful, very successful woman, and she's having a lot of friction on her job. And as we've been talking about it, one of the things that I realized is that and putting the pieces together, I hear that she had a similar type of friction at a previous job, and a previous job, and a previous job. So what does that mean? Does that mean she just makes terrible choices in her selection of work? Does that mean that there just are bad people everywhere? Could it possibly mean that what she's bringing to this situation is helping to ignite the same types of challenges because she hasn't dealt with herself? When we talked about that, she's like, yeah, that's probably true. But she was pointing that finger hard at others. Well, it's got to be that person's fault. It's because of him. It's because of that. It's because of this situation. We do that. We point our fingers hard at others as opposed to wrestling that finger around and pointing it at ourselves and asking, what is my responsibility in this situation? What did I do to get myself here? What is my role in my life? What is my role in what's going on? If we want to place blame, what blame can I place on myself for what has happened? What? That is such a hard question to answer. It is so much easier to point your finger out there and say, well, somebody else is responsible for whatever's going on. Somebody else is responsible for my happiness. If only this didn't exist anymore, I would be happy. Is that so? And so this concept of finding peace, it could mean that the cleanse means that people, places, and things that are not valuable to you need to go away. It could mean that. It often does mean that. But it's because you are looking to get to the cleanest, clearest you so that you can sit in stillness with yourself and be able to breathe and be able to relax, be able to rejuvenate. So there's a wonderful thinker, writer, Eckhart Tolle, who has some wisdom on this, and that's the quote that I want us to look at today as we are exploring what it means to find peace. He said, "You find peace not by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but by realizing who you are at the deepest level." Let me say that again. You find peace not by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but by realizing who you are at the deepest level. That's something to think about. So what I was talking about earlier, and what my mother was saying, you trade one set of problems for another when you move to a different situation, a different job, a different relationship, different home, whatever it might be. If you haven't dealt with the deeper issues of your life, what's going on in your inner world, then you're playing musical chairs in a sense. Eckhart Tolle says you have to realize who you are at the deepest level. What do you value? What is important to you? What isn't important to you? What matters? If you stripped away everything, what you're left with and what you want to be left with should be what matters to you, what you value. Now, if you look at that and lay your soul bare, are you in alignment with what you value? That's what he's talking about. You find peace by realizing who you are at the deepest level. What do you want in your life? What do you need in your life? What do you value? What kinds of relationships are important to you? And do you have that? Have you cultivated relationships in your life that fill your spirit? Where you want that hug and you get that hug. You want that validation of what is true and you get it. You want kindness and it's there. And let's think about this. The validation, the honesty, the hug. First, you need to give them to yourself. Sometimes even the people who appear to be the strongest, you got it going on. You got it all together. That you look at that person, wow, that person clearly has it going on. 9 times out of 10, if you were able to ask the person, how are you doing? That question, how are you feeling? Do you feel right now like you are strong, that you are in alignment with everything that you say you believe, everything you say you want for your life? Even the strongest, most pulled together person may tell you, I'm holding on, I'm holding it together, but it's tough. Today's an okay day, or maybe not. We have frailties, all of us. And even the people who on the outside appear to be these pillars of strength often are looking to others to validate them. And what I'm saying, and I think what Eckhart Tolle is saying, if you understand who you are at the deepest level and you can love yourself for who you are and own the value of who you are and nurture that and be tender with that, with yourself, not looking for somebody else to do it. You do it. You nurture you. You spend time with you. When you do that, you get to know yourself better. You get to know what makes you happy. You get to know what you need to fill your spirit, to take care of your body, to take care of your mind. You get to know that by being still and paying attention, not by waving the flag of here I am, look at me, love me, I'm worthy. We do this. Human beings, we do it. We often shine a light or attempt to shine a light on ourselves so that others will see us, value us, and therefore validate us. But then what happens when they go away and you're left with yourself? Then what? When you're left with yourself, how do you feel about yourself? Very often, too often, we feel isolated. We feel alone. We feel like the wind has left our sails. We feel alone in the sense of disconnected. And so, what I've learned in my spiritual practice, when you meditate, the goal is to connect to your soul, to connect to your inner self, to connect to that life force within you that resonates, that gives you the ability to be alive. And that is connecting you to the divine. So it's inside and outside. And when you do that, when you take the time to connect to your spirit and the goodness inside of you, then you create space for yourself to blossom. You, by finding that space of peace within you where it's quiet, it's calm, it's resonant, it's filled with light, you create more space for peace to occupy you within and without. And interestingly, when you are filled with a sense of peace, you attract others who want that same experience. You know, whatever you think is what you attract. So imagine if you are thinking about being fully present and enjoying the tranquility of that. Being fully present, being able to listen to the voice inside and finding wisdom that helps you to accomplish tasks that may seem difficult, but they feel less difficult if you are in alignment with yourself. Often we are, checking off boxes, and I keep lists, so I believe in the lists. But if you're checking off boxes only, and I have to do this, I have to do that, I got to make this happen, I've got to do this, on and on and on and on, without checking in with yourself, at the end of the day, you may have accomplished a lot, but you feel exhausted and not really like you've accomplished what you needed to because you weren't anchored in your own peace. And so, what I'd love to do right now is a short meditation because I talk about it a lot, but I think now is a time that would be great for us to do it. If you can, this will just be for a few minutes. Wherever you are, put your feet flat on the floor. If you can take your shoes off, even better, but put your feet flat on the floor and really ground them into the floor, making it feel like you're grounding them into the earth, like really press down. And then sit up straight and tall, but also relax your shoulders. Don't crunch them up, relax your shoulders. And put your thumb and four fingers together and put your hands on your knees. And if you would, please close your eyes. And I just want you to breathe naturally, but allow yourself to fully breathe in and out. And as you breathe, just notice your state. How does your body feel right now? Where do you feel tension in your body? If you're allowing yourself to sit up, feel the breath as it moves in and out of your body. And you can send the breath all the way to your toes and all the way to the top of your head. Fill your whole being with oxygen and with good thoughts. Tell yourself that you are finding peace within your being. So breathe in peace and breathe out peace. Allow your breath to bring peace into your being, from your toes to the top of your head. And allow your breath to exhale peace so that peace is all around you. Inhale peace, exhale peace. And anywhere in your body, if you feel tension, just offer peace to that part of your body and allow yourself to relax just a little bit. Whatever that tension means, invite it to just fall away. Instead, invite peace to fill your being. Now, as you're breathing in peace and exhaling peace, what thoughts are coming up? What tension is coming up? What issues are coming up? Whatever's coming up for you, notice it, but don't hold on to it. Just allow yourself to see it. Notice it because what it's showing you is these thoughts, these situations, these people that are popping up as you're searching for peace, they either can be part of the peace that you want for your life or not. They're showing themselves to you so that you can evaluate. I need to rethink this relationship. I need to look at the situation with fresh eyes. I need to address something that I've been putting on the back burner. Breathe in peace. Exhale peace. Look for peace within your being and notice whatever is coming up and how it makes you feel. Is there somebody's face that just makes you cringe when it comes up? Remember that. Remember the feeling. And think about how you might address that person differently to get different results. Breathe in peace. Exhale peace. Allow your whole body to resonate with peace. When you're ready, please open your eyes. And what is your gaze like now as you look around your space? If you can see yourself, what do you see? Is your gaze a little more tender? That little exercise of breathing in peace and exhaling peace should feel like a hug. One of my dearest friends says, give yourself a hug. That's a way to do it. By accessing the peace within you, whatever is going on can diminish a little bit when you take care of you. What can you do for yourself? We so often blame other people and our circumstances for whatever's going on in our life. And I'm telling you, if you do a different thing, accept responsibility for yourself, for your life, what happens? You engage your power. You don't allow someone else to have power over you. You get stronger. You get more clarity. All those images that popped up for you during that little mini meditation, write down what they were. Who were the people who popped up, and was it a good feeling or not? What situations popped up? Did you get to see, I have to address that? If so, write it down so you don't forget. Your being just gave you action points for your life. So don't let it just fly away. Capture those action points so that you can do something about it. What did Eckhart Tolle say? Let's look at his quote again so that we can engage the full meaning of what he had to say. You find peace not by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but by realizing who you are at the deepest level. What's interesting about this is when you realize who you are at the deepest level, very often the circumstances of your life do change. But Eckhart Tolle is saying, look at and identify who you are, and then the puzzle pieces will come together, not the other way around. Oh, gotta get you out of my life, gotta change this, gotta change that. This also doesn't mean that you should stay in a situation that is harmful to you. He doesn't mean that. But the way to assure that you aren't stuck in a harmful situation is by getting to understand the core of who you are. If you don't do that, you're going to keep stepping on landmines. You're going to keep making poor decisions for yourself. If you take the time to connect to your spirit, to your soul, you find your power there. You find clarity of vision there. It really works. So these little meditations, I interviewed Norma Kamali, who's a very well-known fashion designer. Some of you may have heard of her. And she has been a person who's practiced meditation for many, many years. She's very health aligned. And she told me that when things are off, when things aren't going well at work, because no matter who you are, bad things happen, challenges happen. She said she would go in the bathroom and just sit on the toilet seat and do a mini meditation for like 3 minutes to just reconnect and cleanse her spirit so that she could go back out onto the floor rejuvenated. She could realign herself, course correct, so that in that moment, she didn't have to succumb to negativity. She didn't have to allow herself to react to whatever was happening. She could access her power, be in the space of her own peace, and look at the world and the situation before her with fresh eyes. 3 minutes. It works. What we just did wasn't even 3 minutes. You have the power to control yourself. You have the power to access your power. You do not need other people to do that. In fact, they can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. When you do it for yourself, you attract goodness. When you are engaged in power and clarity of who you are, you attract people who like that. When you are pretending to be something you are not, you attract people who like that pretense. And then you wonder, well, why are these people around me? Because I drew them to me. So if you want to draw to you the energy, the spirit, the love, the support that you believe you deserve, you have to reflect that out to others. So you have to access it within your being so that it's what pulses when you breathe. Accessing the deepest part of you, which is something we have to return to center every day, throughout the day. I was talking to a Muslim friend recently who said that, they pray 5 times a day for devout Muslims. It is a reconnection to the divine throughout the day. Well, think about that. If you reconnect to the divinity within you that connects you to the greatness of the divine throughout the day, you're coming back to center. You're coming back to center. You're coming back to center. It's smart. It works. So today, I want you to think about how you can find peace throughout the day. Take a couple of minutes, do that deep breathing. Breathe peace in, breathe peace out. Look through eyes of peace at whatever's going on and see if you don't, if it's possible for you to have a better day, a more joyous day, a day when goodness resonates within your being and around you. It works. So try it, okay? It's wonderful to be with you. Have a great day and make it count. Namaste.